Meditate on the gospel of Christ.
The common denominator in victors is that they esteem the supernatural. They know who they are and whose they are. An excellent example is that of Joshua and Caleb. They prevailed against all odds to possess the promised land. In the process, they encountered serious challenges which they saw as nothing. They saw the giants they met as nothing compared to the Lord of hosts. They knew that He was mightier than any obstacle. He would surely lead them into the land that flowed with milk and honey. Joshua and Caleb relied on the greatness of God. They saw their situation in God's perspective. That's why they gave a report about the situation based on God's point of view about it. They weren't trying to make the things happen according to their opinions, but they spoke the truth about their situation. The truth was the way God saw it, and they also saw it that way in spite of what their sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch indicated. Joshua and Caleb saw the situation in a way which is beyond the natural. They had been with God and they'd seen God deliver them from some situations before, and they could see God helping them. They fixed their eyes on the greatness of God and perceived that He was able to save them. You can also fix your eyes on the greatness of God. You do this by meditating on the gospel of Christ. You meditate on the truth that you are debt-free. It's paid up through the crucifixion. As you meditate on such truth, you align with it, even though your situation contradicts it at face value. For instance, your salary can show you that you can never own that kind of house or drive that kind of car. Meanwhile, the gospel of Christ will be showing you that you are already blessed with riches. In such a case, you have to fix your thoughts on what the gospel of Christ will be showing you. That's what you have to meditate on, and not on what your salary will be indicating. That's called walking by faith. Yes, that's being real, and that's radical. Let me give you another radical example. Suppose you have a medical condition. You pray about it, you speak to it according to the gospel of Christ. Suppose the signs and symptoms disappear. After 2 days, you notice that the signs and symptoms have returned to a considerable degree. Then two voices start talking to you. One of them tells you that you were not healed. It tells you that you still have a medical condition. The other voice tells you that with His stripes you were healed. That's the voice of the gospel of Christ. You have to select the voice that you must continue to listen to and meditate on. If you continue to listen to the negative voice and meditate on it, you will experience what it says. If you listen to the voice of the gospel of Christ and meditate on it, you will experience what it says. You have to recognize and appreciate the gospel of Christ. It represents God. Is God the one who is called the Word of God? Just like God, it does not lie. Is the light revealing the giant in you, who is infinite times bigger than the universe? You see the greatness within you when you look at the new covenant mirror. You perceive mountains of challenges as anthills. You need this because most of the challenges you face initially look like mountains, whereas in the sight of God they are anthills. As you focus on the new covenant mirror, you perceive giants diminishing to nothing. You see the giants becoming stepping stones to your victory. Your fears will dissolve in the resulting courage and strength. There's some amazing power in the gospel of Christ. It's a grace pack that's released and multiplied in the life of His beholder. You are a beholder of the gospel of Christ. You look into it and see your spiritual makeover face to face.